so Selena and I had everybody I met on like the table read for The Amazing O'Malleys. And then I remember Selena came over to watch this horror movie about like cave diving or something. It was like The Descent, I think.
Yeah.
She came over to my house in Texas.
I remember that.
We met up beforehand knowing we were going to go do this pilot together in Texas because we didn't know this, but
How far did you live away
like
from each other?
10 minutes away from each other. We'd never met. I had known
That's
Demi
crazy.
from like acting classes and auditions and stuff, and they were best friends from Barney, but like Selena and I had just never crossed paths for some reason, or at least we didn't remember crossing paths. But we'd had this sleepover to just kind of like get to know you before the pilot. So I met her first. I remember the first time I met David. Talk about sticking your foot in your mouth and knowing who you're talking to. I always, it's not an uncommon thing to IMDb on who you're working with.
Yeah, of course.
And like see who they are and that kind of thing. And now, I mean, the thing would be to Instagram them or whatever. But at the time, you would just only had IMDb. So I IMDb'd everybody in the cast, and I looked up David Henry, and he had these photos of him with his shirt off. And I don't know if it was the way they were taken. I don't know if it was the angle. I don't know what it was, or like the lighting, what it was. I was convinced somebody photoshopped his, because he was really buff at the time.
Like he had like ripped abs.
Yeah, he was
like
like a
abs,
six-pack, like in really good shape.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, somebody photoshopped these stupid photos on this like dumb body. So to me, that was my opener when I met David. So I walk in his dressing room. This is like right after the table read. Like, hi, nice to meet you. Go through the table read. And then we go in the dressing room and I'm like, by the way, you really got to talk to somebody about your IMDb, because I was like, there's these ridiculous photos of you on this dumb body that absolutely doesn't match at all.
And he
like
said,
again, when I get nervous, I talk and I try to make jokes and try to make people laugh, which I like doing anyway. But when I get nervous, I really step in it.
Right.
And just really just shoving my foot in my mouth. And he just goes, no, that's me. And I'm like, I just wanted to dig my own grave and crawl into it. Like, it was the worst way to like meet somebody, to be like, your body looks like it doesn't fit on your head. Just awful. Yeah,
I love that you said that.
I like, my foot needs to be surgically removed from my mouth. It's ridiculous.
Funny. So to the moral of the story is David had ripped abs.
No, the first like couple seasons he was in. Maybe the whole show he was in really great shape.
Whatever.
Well, you got in really good shape. Okay, let's do one more question.
Well, I was going to say something. I wanted to ask you a question.
Like,
where did you shoot The Amazing O'Malleys? Was it at the same studio?
I feel like it was, but I'm not 100% positive on that. But I feel like it was. But don't quote me on that.
I'm gonna really look.
Somebody might remember that better than I do.
I haven't found the
like
DVD of that yet. I have it somewhere.
Well, everybody's asking you to upload it to the internet.
I'm gonna find it.
Or somebody to upload it to the internet.
How did that get out? Oh, now if somebody has it and uploads it, it's my fault.
Yeah, totally. You're so screwed either way. Okay. What magical fictional world do you wish you could live in is the first question. The second one is, what would you do on your days off from the show?
Star Wars. I would like to be.
That's what you would do on your days off from the show?
No. But my days off from the show would be with my kids. I'd be with my kids. And the one great thing about being on a sitcom was that we would typically start at 8 or 8:30, and our run-throughs would be we would be done basically on the rehearsal days at like 2:30.
That must have been nice for you. I was not done at 2 or 2:30. I was stayed doing school until 6 or 7.
I'm so sorry, Jennifer. I apologize.
And then I didn't have a summer until like I think college. What magical fictional world do I wish I could live in? This is that thing that I have where when people ask really good questions, my brain's just like, knowledge, what's that?
What about, I know you don't love it, but Harry Potter would be a fun world to live in.
No, that's just
not
my
for you,
jam.
but for me.
For you, yeah, that would be
doubled
really cool.
answered the question.
You didn't know that, so those are both great answers. What I would really love, I just watched Babylon the other day, and I know that's not like it's based on reality, and that movie is not the example because that movie is very tragic.
There's a lot going on.
There's a lot going on. But that whole 1920s through the 40s golden age of Hollywood, I know that's not fictional because that was a real thing that
So
happened.
what about like singing in the rain kind of time, like in that
I would have
zone,
I would
right?
have loved to have been in that. And I know that there were a lot of problems and there was a lot of things, but like there's something, and maybe I like, you know, make it glorify it a lot more than, because like I said, there was definitely a lot of imperfections to that time.
Yeah.
But like there's just something so magic about that era of Hollywood and movie making that I love. And so I know it's not fictional, but I would love to live in like the golden age of Hollywood. I would love to live in that universe and have, you know, maybe with the rights of today, I would like to live.
I feel, you know, when I first met you, Jen, I felt like it was almost like you were from the 40s. You know what I mean?
I have
it was
a friend,
like you were from, and I was
Yeah.
like, you know how they say old soul. Obviously, you're an old soul, but you know, I feel like you were from that time. You know,
I have a friend that like, and I don't know how much I believe in it or other people believe in it, but she like does like past life work. And she's like, oh, you know, you were alive in the 40s for sure. And I'm like, I'll take it. Like I said, I'll take it with a grain of salt, but I'll take it.
okay.
And
Wait,
then
on that, the Defending Your Life Albert Brooks movie.
Yes.
They go to the Past Lives Pavilion. If you haven't seen this movie, see it.
I don't
It's
think
great.
I've seen that one,
Oh, you have
actually.
to see it. And then
Okay.
Shirley MacLaine is there.
Oh my
And she's
God.
like, look at your past lives, you know, because he's in
Yeah, yeah.
purgatory. It's like heaven, but not.
Yeah,
And-
I love a
and
purgatory
Shirley
metaphor.
MacLaine is there, but Meryl Streep is looking at herself, and she's like Joan of Arc, you know. And then Albert Brooks is looking at himself, and there's a man running away from a tiger, and she says, "What are you?" And he goes, "Dinner." Sorry,
That's a great bit. And what would I do on my days off from the show?
Other than banking school,
Other than banking school hours. I remember, I mean, this wasn't the only thing that I did, but I remember I had a really great school teacher named Maura on the first season of the show.
yeah. She had red hair too,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, she did. She was a really great teacher, and she would suggest like different exhibits at museums and stuff. And on a
cool.
lot of my days off, we would go to that because she's been my set teacher since I did House back when I was like 11, 12. And then when this came around when I was like 13, you know, I was like, we got to throw her name in. She's amazing. I don't know if she'll do it. And she did it for the first season. And she's now the teacher for young Sheldon on that show.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and,
she's so
She's
wonderful.
the best. But yeah, she was so attentive as a teacher. And it just goes to show how important teachers that are invested in their students and to like cultivate those minds, especially on sets, because there's some set teachers who just don't give a shit.
Yeah.
And she was the opposite of that. And we really lucked out with some good set teachers on Wizards. But yeah, she would find different things that we were really into and find museums and stuff.
That's so cool. I worked with her again because
where
when I
did you work
did
with
Grandma
her?
for President, the
Yeah.
podcast, she came, you know, and referred some friends too that helped out. She was amazing. And going to museums is really important.
Yeah.
I didn't do that so much. I mean, my mom took me to museums when I was
Sure.
younger, but now with Yulia, we did a lot of traveling.
best.
So
Yeah.
I've gone to so many different museums in different countries in Europe, and it's just so much fun. I mean, you know, the Louvre, I've been there several times.
Yeah.
I think somebody said it could take you the better part of 3 weeks to see
sure.
all of the
But
art that's
even
there.
more than the Louvre, speaking because I'm a Francophile, but the Musée d'Orsay is because I love Impressionism, and they have a really great Impressionist collection.
I think we should let's go to a museum together.
I would love that.
Yeah.
I would love that. And are you an art museum person?
I of course. I mean,
It's my favorite.
I have to say that when I was younger, I didn't appreciate it as much, but now I do. I don't know. Maybe I'm just a little more comfortable with myself, and I'm
No, that
not
makes sense.
judgy, you know. And Yulia, she knows museums and stuff.
Let's all go.
Yeah. Okay, done.
Let's
it's
do
a
it.
date.
Well, guys, thank you for your amazing questions. David and I have an art museum to figure out which one we're going to and to go to. So you guys have a wonderful day. Thank you for tuning in and for your amazing questions and being your amazing selves.
We heart you guys, and thank you for listening to a very special episode of Wizards of Waverly Pod.
Thanks so much for watching that clip of Wizards of Waverly Pod. If you want the full episode, head over to our Wizards of Waverly Pod YouTube channel at the link in the description. And if you just can't get enough and you want exclusive weekly bonus content, join our Patreon now. There's a link in the description for that too. Imagine that. Thanks for tuning in.